So in today's video, we are going to see what it took for me to be able to jumpstart my weight loss journey, but not only just jumpstart it, but take it to the finish, because that's what is important. And I know, and I've been in a place where I've started this journey many times, but I couldn't finish it. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it takes for it to keep this journey going, not lose that motivation that you gained initially, not lose that momentum, so that you continue your weight loss journey. Hi there, if you're new to this channel, my name is Neela Tyagarajan, and my weight loss journey began after I moved to the US from India. After losing 46 kgs of my body weight and having maintained that for more than a year and a half, I realized that I've been put through this journey to help Indian mothers who've been uprooted from their native Indian soil and who are leading their life in a second home lose weight by helping them focus on nutrition first. And while they're losing weight, they don't have to give up the traditional Indian foods that they grew up with, which is exactly what I did. If someone had asked me to give up the foods that I grew up with in order to be able to lose weight, I wouldn't have done that. So without compromising on your taste buds, you can still lose weight, which is what I help my clients. And after I lost weight, I went back and looked at what was the protocol I followed that gave me results, and I tried that protocol on 300 clients of mine, and all of them got amazing results. Of course, all of them who followed the program got amazing results. So if you want to understand what is a step-by-step framework that would give you everlasting results, I suggest you watch this video of mine where I've broken it down into simpler steps. And in my last video, I also spoke about something as simple as a habit tracker that you can use to master your habits. So if you're interested in that, do click that video and download the free template and get started with your weight loss journey. So my studies, which is my graduation, post-graduation, which was like 5 years, right? It was on nutrition and biochemistry. But once I finished that, there was this talk in my family that was about like someone who was very successful in the software industry, and everybody was looking up to the person like, wow, this person has got so much results. And that made me reflect back on, Neela, what have you done? Nutrition, biochemistry, is this something that's going to get you to the software industry? Because that's where the future seems to go. That's where everybody is going. And a lot of people are, getting amazing results and amazing pay in that industry. And what are you doing with learning nutrition, biochemistry? So my focus completely shifted into, okay, that's fine if I've done nutrition, biochemistry, but now I want to get into the software industry and be super duper successful, because that's where everybody is and that's what people are asking me to look up to. So that's where my journey into getting into the software industry started, and it was extremely difficult for someone who did nutrition and biochemistry for 5 years to get into software industry and to reach heights. So it all started with me taking up a certification and trying to understand what that was, while at the same time getting married and trying to balance this work-life relationship, because I was also working as an editor and proofreader in a firm while trying to get into the software industry and while trying to settle down in my married life. All of this was happening together, and I was like, first of all, I didn't know where to start. I had to research and find out that there is this one person who trains people into documentation that is being used in the software industry. So I'm like, yes, documentation is where I want to get to be able to get into the software industry, because that seems the path that I can take myself into. That took a lot of time to figure out how can I go, and the easiest way was to be able to get mentored and trained by someone who's already been there. So I met with this person. I was so excited to meet this person to figure out what the life has to offer for me in the software industry. So I took my article that I wrote, because this was about documentation and technical writing. So I went and I showed my article. This is the article that I've written. It got published in my company's magazine. What do you think about this? And that person, he was actually nice, and he said, yeah, good, I like it. I like your writing. He just encouraged me, and then I enrolled in his program, which was like a weekend program where I have to travel from one part of the city from where I was to another part of the city after my office hours, and then meet up with him for 1 or 2 hours as a group, learn from him, and then come back home. It was extremely difficult because I was relying on public transportation. And remember, this is when I was just getting started in the in my career actually. Like I didn't even have enough money to be able to make it to an auto or or a taxi or something like that. All I had to rely was getting things done through public transportation, and that was so horrible because buses were so crowded. And first of all, I was actually raised in one part of the state, and I got married and moved to another part of the state, so I didn't understand the language that was being spoken there, and all the boards were in that regional language. I couldn't follow that language. I still managed to finish my office, figure out the route that I have to take to go to this class, and then come back home, and all of that while being while traveling with public transportation and having to keep up with all these smells and noises and everything. It was extremely challenging for me. And then once I started getting into the course and getting a hang of it, that's when I was like, why am I feeling very nauseous all the time? Oh my gosh, is this smell that's coming from this public transportation, from the roads? Like, why do I feel like I want to throw up all the time? And that's when I realized my periods has not happened for the last couple of months. And that's when the doctor told me that yes, you are going to get your first baby. And that was such a mixed state of emotions for me, because here am I with a different subject and a different experience altogether, trying to get into a different world and being very passionate to get into that world. And in the process, I'm having to figure out what it takes to be able to go to this new course and understand, not only understand, but manage my whole life around balancing this, not only work and family, but also this new certification program. And now there is one more blow that has come to me, which is like I have to now also keep in mind that there is this life that is inside me that is starting to grow. So first of all, it was so difficult, because oh my gosh, should I have this baby now? Because now is when I'm getting into this new industry. I want to achieve, and all of those emotions was high. It was running so high, and of course during the initial state of pregnancy, you know how emotions run high. So it was running very high on me, and there were so many days when the couch would be wet because I was all in tears trying to empathize myself. And finally I was able to get that certification done and complete, and it was really time for me to deliver the baby. So I went to my mom's place, and we had a very beautiful experience. It was a C-section, but it was one of the beautiful experience. I still remember my little one, my older one, opening her eyes, and that was a moment of peace when I saw that okay, she's all perfect and fine. And then I rested and I took all the rest that it required, but it was such a beautiful experience. I should say that I was not fully present to enjoy the experience, because my mind was like, oh my gosh, now I have the certification. Okay, now how do I get into this technical writing industry, this documentation industry, and more so it's about getting into the software industry. How do I get into the software industry? So for 3 months I was like not knowing whether it was day or night, because the younger one was always keeping me up, so it was so difficult. But after 3 months, when the younger one started sleeping, when the little one started sleeping a little better, that's when I realized I got to keep this going. So I went and I looked up for another event, another seminar that was going on. And even before I delivered the baby, I went and attended a seminar, and it was really awkward because I was the only person that was like fully pregnant, 9 months pregnant, and going and attending the seminar. And people are like, what on earth is she doing? Like, should she not be focusing on her baby and the pregnancy rather than coming and sitting for the seminar? But after the seminar ended, so did the pregnancy also had a beautiful ending, which I had this wonderful older one of mine. But 3 months into it, I was not even done with feeding my little one by myself. But I went into this part-time job. I took up this part-time job because I went to this person that gave the seminar, and I said, hey, can I work for you? Because I have this experience. I have editing and proofreading experience. I've taken up a course, and I'm confident that I'll be able to do at least the editing and proofreading module in your course. I can teach students, and in turn I can enhance my knowledge on technical writing, and that will get me into the software industry. And he was really good enough and so gracious to give me a part-time job, because I explained that I'd just given birth to a baby. So it was like 3 to 4 hours of work is what that new work entailed. But the 3 to 4 hours was extremely challenging for my mom, because there was no pumps at that time, and I was not having any technological advances that would really let me stay away from my baby. Let me just leave it at that level. So when the baby was like desperate need of mom's milk, my mom had a hard time handling the little one, and she would just pray for the little one to sleep so that by the time I come back, then I would have access to the little one. But it was so difficult, but still she was able to give her best because my mom saw the need for me to be into this industry and how passionate I was, and she did her best. So, and then that was the first stepping stone into my career in the software industry, more so I would say as like a mentor, as a teacher in the technical writing and documentation field. And using that experience, I said I now have this work experience where I'm now tutoring and doing their projects and everything. I used that to apply for other jobs, and slowly by the time I realized, I got settled in a well-established corporate company, and I was also able to climb the ladder real quick because my complete focus went into building my corporate career. And it took years, of course, and I had to build all this career and everything while managing to balance this little one that's now grown up and she's going to school, and we need someone to take care of her and pick her and drop her and all that. And then my husband had a different shift, and I had a different shift. And we were traveling and we were between states, so we were just moving across states. So it was so challenging. I really didn't know how to tie it all together. I was struggling just to make all these different ends meet. But long story short, I was able to have a thriving career, and that got me a real good title in a top IT firm where I was managing a team. But then what happened? So I felt really successful, and in this process of being extremely successful and showing and proving to the world that yes, I got it, I got what it took, I have a beautiful career now, look at me. It was more to prove to myself that yes, I can be successful in what I get my mind to. But years had passed by, and before I got into my first job, I gave several interviews. All of those were failures, but I just still didn't give up. So that was one of the biggest, proud moments I would say, where I always think back at those moments and like, yes, I can be successful. I had to say this to myself like a million times. Even when the little one was inside my stomach, or when I was like, just my husband was taking me in the bike to these different interviews, I had to just keep saying that yes, this is possible, I can do it. And this could be like real, I don't know if it could be unreal for some people, but I did say the story of this Robert Bruce. I had to recollect it and talk myself through this several times to be able to just keep my journey going. And also the song Hum Honge Kamyab, the beautiful Hindi song, I had to sing this to myself that one day I will be successful, I will make it. But yes, it took several years, but I did make it, and that helped me build this beautiful glass castle that I actually used to protect myself, right? Because this confidence is so high now, nobody can damage my confidence. So the glass castle was beautifully built around me that would not let anyone shatter me, because like, look at me in this beautiful castle that I've built all by myself with the bricks and sticks and everything that I laid out, completely built by my own. So once I built a castle and I had this time to relax, and I looked at my body and like, oh my gosh, what have I done to this body? It's completely grown out of shape, right? So now I started focusing on my body. All I heard was people giving me advice about how you could be successful in your career. Nobody even spoke about my career. I thought everybody's going to appreciate me and praise me for all this career that I've beautifully built. But they were like, fine, it's okay. Yeah, my cousin is working there, my friend is working there, my niece is working there, whatever it is. They were just saying, yeah, what you did is not a big deal. And then they started focusing on what I need to do, which is take care of this body. They're like, how have you put on so much weight? You put on weight, you look different. How many times have I heard people telling me to lose weight? I can tell you. Any social event I go, any gathering I go, any party I go, people just seem to not focus on anything but just on my weight, and they started looking at me as it was more like me looking. And I realized later that it is not others looking at me, it was just me looking at me like a failure. Slowly that castle that I started building, that I had built beautifully around, was starting to crumble, because one by one I was getting these punches like, you are a failure, you have not been able to have a great body. And that crushed my self-confidence crumbled, not crushed. It broke my confidence slowly, little by little by little, that I stopped going out to events because people started giving me so much advice, and I would be like screaming to them, hey, if I knew how to lose this weight that I have gained unaware, like unknowingly I put on this is not purposefully. Nobody does this to themselves on purpose. They just kind of lost track. They focused on something, and now it's like, it feels like it's too late in the game. It feels like everything is over. But no, I'm not doing this on myself on purpose. So if you could please tell me how to go about this process instead of advice, because the last thing I want to hear from you is advice. I know I'm looking at the mirror, even though the only mirror I had was up till my waist length. I didn't have a full length mirror, right? So it was so bad advice that I kept getting, and the worst advice that you can give to a teetotaler is to ask them to stop drinking. So I've had all weird advices. People just assumed a lot of things and spoke to me, and top of it, forget people. How was my experience? How did I feel? My shopping experience, let's talk about that for a while. My shopping experience was like a nightmare. I never ever want to shop, because every time I go, I get to see this, go to the fitting room, I get to see this full length mirror. And this full length mirror is actually built to make people show a thinner version of themselves. But that was not the case for me. For me, in my mind, this image of mine, like, it ballooned more than it's supposed to. Or probably I was like, exaggerating it. But for me, I felt miserable. Oh my gosh, look at what you've done to your body. That was the only thing that I could hear. And whatever clothes. So even after hearing that voice talking to me again and again and again, I still mustered the courage to try that new cloth on, and only to give up. Like, I would take a bunch of outfits to try, and none of them would fit me. So I would almost be at the verge of sitting in that fitting room wanting to cry or wanting to throw up. That was the experience. And eventually, because that, I stopped shopping around. I said, Mom, you decide the outfit that I want to, you buy the material, you stitch for me, I will just wear what you stitch for me. And because of which, all I wore was loose outfits, loose nightwears, loose churidars. Just loose it up so that I don't want to see this, because all I was thinking is like, I am super busy in this corporate world, trying to manage a team, trying to get proposals, trying to get the wins for the company, trying to build my career here, that I can only focus on that. I just don't want to focus on my body. And in fact, what I did was, I did not want to commit to or accepting the fact that it was me that caused my body to balloon up like this. So I was in that phase for a long time. Pain, so much of pain, because every time this topic and this mind would come up, or someone would bring it up, there was like this, my castle getting punched, and only up to some point I could put band-aid, and my band-aid was like buying a treadmill and working on it for like 10 minutes and just jumping off, walking for 30 minutes. I just failed to look at what it took for me to gain that weight, because once I knew what it took for me, I could have actually stopped all that things that enabled me, which I didn't do. I didn't go back and look at history and see, why did I gain this weight? And I was thinking, something is wrong with my body. I think I have hypothyroidism. And then I went to an Ayurvedic doctor and said, can you give me a pill? Because my body weight seems to be just increasing. I don't know what is the reason. I've not changed anything. I've changed a ton of things. I was lying to myself. I was lying to the doctor. And if she asked me what my weight was, I would say, I think in 70s or something, but I would be like 85 kgs at that time. But I would just lie to her. Extremely dishonest with myself, because I didn't want to accept the fact that what the weighing scale was showing was actually a reflection of my weight. I never accepted that fact, because I didn't accept the fact, because I didn't want to commit to taking responsibility for my result, which was what was showing up. I was in that place for so many years, and this weight gain was not something that happened in a jiffy for me. Like, right from my college days, my first check-in in the weighing scale was during my first year of college. I remember it was 60 kgs at that time, and it was slowly ballooning up. During marriage, I was in my 70s, and I was in my 70s for a really long time. And then slowly, in just a couple of years, when I hit the peak of my corporate job, right? That is when it ballooned to like 85, 90, 95. I was still trying to travel around. Hey, I have this Paris trip coming up. I can look forward to this trip. I can go look around places, meet different clients, put in a lot of work. Just come back from office, eat some junk food and just get back and log in, because this is what is very important in life. I was doing that mistake, and from 85, by the time I realized I was 95, 96 kgs. And then there was this one, and as I said, since I was not attending any events and I was not posing in front of the camera, and thankfully in India at that time it was all not a super duper digital phone or anything, it was still a digital camera, but you still have to go and take the printout and do that processing, right, whatever it takes to have a photo album. So it was still in the album mode, so it took a lot of time by the time the picture was taken to when the album was ready. And thankfully there were not a lot of albums that were shared, because it was all in different events. That was my cousin sister's birthday, yes. That was my cousin sister's wedding event, and there was no way they would not share the album. So when I looked at the album, oh my gosh, look at that picture. I'm going to screen that picture in here. That was like such an eye-opener for me, but I was so energetic and so enthusiastic to looking for that Paris trip that I'm like, I'll go to Paris, I'll come back and I'll see what happens. I went to Paris, enjoyed that journey, came back, and then I was like, okay, I think I gotta go to US now. So let me do all what it takes to go to US, and we started processing our visa papers and this full zoom, full mode into, hey, we're going to have a different life in a different country. This is going to help me get my confidence and everything back, because now not only I am at a national level, I am at an international level. I'm taking my career too. So I'll spend a lot of time coming to the US. Here in the US also, when these moments pop up, right, the band-aid would be like going to the gym and giving myself the full, like going on a treadmill and a cycle, pedaling it for like 1 hour. Yeah, I can do it, I can do it. And the next day I'll be completely sore. I can't even get up. So the gym would be a thing of a past. And then after 3 days I'll recover, and then 4th day I'll go up, 3 days for recovery. So it's probably a day or two in a week that I went to the gym. And look at my thought process. I was searching for solutions, everything outside and not on the inside. If I would have actually looked at what the heck was I eating or not eating, right? It would have been a different story, but that's a topic for a different video. But so these were all my band-aid moments. And then what happened, by the time I came to the US and I saw that I was at 96 kgs, my confidence, that castle that I said that I beautifully built around me, was crumbled, was like shattered into pieces. And there was just one thing that was the last bit that was required, which was an event that happened in one of my friend's place, which was like a get together, and we did a lot of cooking. We enjoyed cooking together, and we enjoyed we spent hours cooking, and by the time we finished cooking, the hunger would have built up. So I've like binged what I cooked and what we all cooked, and then we'll go to sleep around 11, 12, relax. This is how weekend's supposed to be, because all that we're doing is we are enjoying. After weeks of hard work, we are enjoying, right? So that was how beautifully I was enjoying my weekend. And then in the weekend, after all that happened, she sent me the pictures, and that was enough for me. That picture was enough, because already what has happened is I had a bad day of eating the previous day, right? I was already terribly guilty, and now the next day the picture is coming up. That's it. That is it. I could not take this anymore. For God's sake, what am I giving excuses about? Why am I just getting beaten and beaten and beaten? Look at this naive girl who is not able to make progress in her weight loss journey, and in the process of trying to transform herself and transform her family in terms of leading a successful career and a life. Look at what she's done. She's so innocent that she didn't even know that she had to focus on her health first, that she didn't know that building a successful career is not going to keep her happy. She didn't know any of that. This is like a little baby. Now it's crying desperately, it's crying in pain, it's crying so much in pain. And I had to actually take some time to console myself, to pamper myself. When a child is crying in pain, you're not going to give the medicine first, right? You're going to make it calm down, silence that noise first. So I had to take a moment, silence myself. Silence. Yes, it's okay, it happens, it's okay. I took a day to just silence myself, calm down, because the emotions were built, like pent up emotions, and suddenly those emotions get released once. You cannot take it more than that. Enough of advice from people, not just inside India but outside India. Enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of people telling me to lose weight. I can't take this anymore. I'm sick and tired of having to answer my own self as to why I've not been able to make progress in this. I'm sick and tired of the scale going up. For God's sake, can the scale stop just going up? For God's sake, can I just try to have a better version of myself? And I said, this one day is going to be very impactful day. Because never again I'm going to put myself through this. For years I have ignored. For years I have ignored my body. Not just 1 or 2. 17 years. Slowly. And this weight gain was so sneaky. It didn't show up all at once. It just little by little, it conquered me. Now I'm completely in a place where it's all over me. Now I have to start somewhere. But I decided, yes, I've let this happen for so many years. I've done this. But now I am no longer going to be a victim of this game. I have to do something about this so that this exact experience, which is all the pent up emotions coming out from here, this is never ever going to happen to me in my life. That was one commitment that I took. This pain that I'm going through now, I'm never ever going to experience this pain. Never in my life am I going to let this pain come back. It's enough. It's done. Over. That was when I moved on from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And this butterfly not just transformed herself, right, through going through that tough phase, but now she has transformed her family, and more so a bigger community, beautiful community. I'm transforming. This is my vision. This is my calling. I realized when I did the deep work inside, when I was doing the work, when I was put through all this, I didn't know that the reason why I was being put through all this. But now I'm here. I've never ever given up. This is one thing, as I said, right, my confidence was crushed back. I had to rebuild the castle, and I have done successfully. I've done that castle successfully. I have a beautiful, look at the way I'm talking in front of the camera. This is confidence, people. This comes from knowing that if you put your mind to something and get the results, no matter what it is, how hard it is, you can get the results. This is an example, and I've done it time and again. That's what this whole story is about. Be it building a corporate career, or wanting to lose weight, or wanting to maintain it, or wanting to transform the lives of others. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. It's what this confidence, this building and rebuilding this castle of mine took. But for me to be able to lay that foundation so that once that castle is built and ensuring that nobody, one time I let people crush it, crumble it, shatter my castle. Second time I'm building the castle, I'm never ever going to let anyone crush my confidence. So I built my foundation, my bricks out of the pain that I went through. And that is the foundation for me to being able to completely build this castle. And once I laid the pain down, and then slowly I took actions, all of those habits became the building block. And now this is not just a castle, this is a lighthouse that I thought is just going to give me, light. Let me identify where I want to go. But this lighthouse is going to serve hundreds and thousands of people. It's already served hundreds of people. And I want this lighthouse to serve you, which is exactly why I'm exposing my complete vulnerability in front of you, be it in my corporate space or in my weight loss space. I don't want you to get bogged down by any challenges that come. But the first step is realizing that you have the power. Once you bring that pain forward, list down what is so freaking painful, what is enough experience for you, what you don't want to happen anymore. And for some of you, It could be not being able to sit down with your kids and do the drawing, do that artwork, or even forget your kids, even for yourself, if you want to do some artwork which shows the creativity in you, you can't do it because you're not able to sit down for a few hours. Your knee hurts, your back hurts. You can't get up. And that shoots up. The shooting pain in the back goes up and lands in your ears as tears. Right? Because the weight gain is causing that discomfort in your life. It's not letting you do your day-to-day work. That is painful. You don't want that pain to happen in your life. You want to dance to your heart's content. You want to join this class, but you find so many other people having a lot of energy to do it, and you want that energy, but you're not able to. It's painful. It's freaking painful to know that you are not able to perform like that other person. Is it not painful for you? It is for me. So much pain. Your doctor looking at you like a failure and telling you that she has to put you on cholesterol medications, she has to put you on sugar medications, your HbA1c is high, your blood sugar is high. If you do what you're doing, I'm going to put you on medication. Hey, you better get your weight down for your knee pain or hip pain, or for your shots to be done with, for your medications to be done with. That doctor looking down on you, saying, hey, you haven't taken care of your health. Everybody is screaming. It's actually your inner voice screaming at you. Start taking care of your health. But you have to understand what is painful, what is bothering you, because you never want that pain to come. Once you bring that pain, or once you bring that emotions, not only will you get the healing, will you land up being very emotional. It took me several emotional moments to bring that out, to realize what this little child is having to go through to lose the weight. Bring all that pain down, list all your pain points. Now this is something which 90% of people will not do, because you fear confrontation. You don't want to address your own self. Your brain is protecting you from wanting to take action, because it's very uncomfortable zone. One minute it will say yes, you can do it, in the other minute it will say no, you cannot do it, you're such a failure. You constantly have this talk, you can, you can't, you can, you can't. So how do you silence the negative talk and focus on the positive talk? As simple as that. Just first list down all the pains, and then take a commitment that you never ever go. This pain means a lot to you. It's taken your whole freaking life. You're never ever going to let that pain come one more time. And by that, you're becoming that super mom that's teaching your children, not just giving everything to the children, not just giving them above and beyond what they need. You are teaching them how to handle failure, how to make failure successful, how to become successful in life, how to take that action. You are leading by example, not just for yourself. Why I'm saying this when it comes to children and families, because you are that person who takes your kids, your family, your husband, your in-laws, your mother, your father. You take everybody else serious than yourself. That's how I am. If I promise to someone that I will do something, I'll show up, I will show up. Right? So have this in mind. Like, I never want to have this experience for my children. I want to be able to sit down with my little one, or with my older one, or be an example, lead by example for my teen, or sit down with the younger one and have all the fun in the world. Once you realize that that is what you want to do, then your vision becomes very clear. Your lighthouse statement becomes very clear. Now, this is what is going to guide you to ensuring that the journey that you've started will never stop, because you have a direction to go. A lighthouse, that vision is what you have written, and that is built on the pain, right? So you know where you have to go, and it's coming out deeply from a personal experience, from painful emotional experience. Emotion is what's going to cause your transformation. Let me tell this. If you don't associate any emotion with anything that you're doing, you're not going to be able to get that transformation. So first bring out what is that pain, and then your transformation is beautifully going to be said, because if pain comes out, you will know what exactly you don't want, and then you will do everything. You will do everything. But let's start with the first step. First step is list down the most painful moments in your life when it comes to weight loss. What have you not been able to do? For me, Western wear, just seeing my body, and when I came to US, I didn't have an option but to wear Western clothing. It pained me. I was in loose outfits so long. It pained me so much to see myself, see my body in the Western wear. A lot of us start off our journey with just wanting to get that body back in a little bit of shape, if not to the greatest extent. Whatever be that painful, and a lot of people are like, I am beyond all of that. I am beyond my body. It's now about my health. I want to get out of this pain. No, knee pain, back pain, whatever pain it is. Or I want to get out of medication. That could be the driving force. Whatever it is, list that pain. You got to take the time to reflect on it, because that's what is going to give you the transformation that 90% of people are not able to get to. Comment in the comment box to what has been the most painful part of your weight loss journey. What is that that's troubling you? What is that it's keeping you up at night? You're not able to go to sleep because of this one thing that's bothering you. List that out first. And from there on, your vision would be that this is not what I want to be. When you list on what you don't want to, your vision becomes, this is where opposite of that is what I want to. It becomes very clear. And after that, always you're going to have this negative self-talk, positive self-talk, I said, right? So for you to be able to cut down the negative self-talk, for me, going back and looking at how I was successful in my corporate job, was the reflection that yes, if I can put my mind to achieving a successful corporate job, yes, I can do weight loss too. So always when I had this doubt, I'll go back and look at my past accomplishments. So two things, your pain moments and your proud moments. If you're able to list these two down, your pain moments will help you decide what exactly you don't want, and you can always by that figure out what you want in life. Once you figure out what you want in life, then it's a matter of holding that belief as to you can do it till you get there. And for you to be able to hold to the belief, looking back at what you've been able to accomplish, your personal experience, your unique experience, that's going to help you. I hope you got some value out of this video. If so, do give me a thumbs up, right, by hitting the like button. And if you feel it's going to impact the life of someone else, please do share this video and list down as to what are your pain moments and your proud moments. Take that action. Anything, do not leave. This is something that I'm learning from the greatest teacher ever, which is Tony Robbins. What he says is, do not leave the learning scene, learning zone without taking an action. So now that we have learned what is one thing, one powerful thing from my story, from my scene, from my experience that gave me this result. You saw my before and after, and you saw what was that one thing, and you know that that one thing is going to cause your transformation. That what is stopping you from listing out your pain and proud moments? Fear. Stop all that fear. Get out of that comfortable zone and list down, prove to yourself that you can take action. List down the moments that you're most proud of and the ones that are causing you most pain in your weight loss journey. And I will see you in my next video with the continuation of how we evolve from here. Right? If you haven't subscribed yet, you don't want to miss out on all of these powerful stories that's going to cause your transformation. So do consider subscribing. And until I see you in my next video, stay safe, take care, bye.